This video describes the method that I use for trading an accumulator free bet that a bookie may give me. The strategy is to bet the free bet with the bookie, the accumulator, with plenty of time between each of the events in your accumulator. You need to work out some suitable odds before you place your bet, and the aim is to stake so that the liabilities are less than our bet winnings. Now, in order to do that, we need to bet one event at a time, so you need some time between your events so that we know the result of one event before the next, so we can lay one event and then lay the next one, knowing what we need to do next to recover any lay liabilities if we've hit winners. And if we hit winners, we need to stake to recover lost liabilities. If we hit a loser, our successful lay should recover our lost lay liabilities and show a profit on top. Now, while you're doing this, you need to make sure that your Betfair account is big enough to cover the lay liabilities before you start. I've just moved the screen down a bit. So the aim in my way of looking at this is to hit a loser as soon as possible, or if I hit winners, to have lay liabilities that are smaller than the accumulator bet winnings with the bookie. And don't forget our bet is free with the bookie. If we hit losers with our lays, our bet has cost us nothing. So the way to do this is to stake the first runner as a normal free bet. Now, if you're doing more than a double, I would suggest that you need to bias the staking for a smaller profit than we would expect. Well, I'll show that in the video in a moment. So if you hit a loser, that's end of trade, you have profit. If it wins, you need to use the profit target accumulator sheet that goes with this package, and set that profit to slightly smaller than you would normally look for if it was just a single trade of a free bet. And once you hit a loser, that is end of the trade. If you hit winners whilst you're doing your accumulator, you need to lay each event in turn and hopefully end up with lay liabilities less than the profit that you make with your bookie. Okay, let's have a look at the spreadsheet. Now, if we hit a winner with our first bet, the first part of our accumulator, we need to come into this second sheet, which is lay to a profit target. Now, there's a profit target that we will be aiming for. You can set that to any level you like. Enter the name of your runners there, the odds there, the stakes that you've put on there, and the result of your race side, either a 1 for a win or a 0 for a lose. Now, once you put some odds in there, a lay stake is shown there, and that will show you a profit of whatever you're putting up there, your profit target, after commission. So as you progress down here, putting your odds in, these stakes will recover whatever you lost previously and show your profit once you hit a loser. So in this case, I've got an example of a profit target of £3.50, hit a winner there, and we have lay liabilities. Put the next odds in, put that stake in there, lay that stake in Betfair, and if it loses, put a 0 in there, and your bank column there shows what's happening to your trade. And once you hit that loser, there's your profit of £3.50 that you're putting up there after commission. So that's basically how that sheet, this part of the sheet works. Now, bolted onto this sheet, I put what happens in the bookie there. Now, this is just a visual display of what is happening to our accumulator with the bookie. So all we do with it is put the bookie accumulator bet odds in there. I've got a double in there of the first runner at 7 and the second at 3.25 with a bet stake of £5, which is what I've been doing today. Now, if that had won, if that first one had won, there would be £35 carried forward onto the next runner at odds of 3.25. And if that wins, there's 113.75 carried on to the next runner if there was another one down there. Now, if that's the end of the double, which it was in this case, the total return with the bookie would be 113.75 less the £5 would be a net winnings of 108.75. Now that's what I put on today. I did a double of odds of 7 and 325, and the total bookie return, the bookie winnings would have been 108.75 pence if I'd hit 2 winners. Okay, so that's 2 parts of the sheet. That's the peak this side that we're interested in for placing our lays, and this part just shows what's happening with the bookie. Compare the two. If we've hit all winners there, put a 1 in there. So we've hit all winners with our lays. That is what would happen to our bank in Betfair. We would be minus 105.32, but in our accumulator with the bookie we would have won 108.75. Take one from the other and we can see that we would have made £3, about £3.50, £3.40 profit. Okay, so that's 2 parts of the sheet. That's the laying part in Betfair, and that's what's happening with our bookie. Okay, we'll see how that works in a bit. Now the first live trade I'm going to show in a moment was a free £25 treble I got with Betfair. Now I bet 3 football teams with that: Wigan, Southampton and Liverpool, and these are the odds that I got: 4.75 for Wigan, 2 for Southampton and 1.5 for Liverpool. Now if I'd simply gone ahead and laid and tried to recover my £25 when I hit a loser, I would have entered my £25 profit target there, laid Wigan for 26.31, and if I'd hit a loser, put a 0 in there, and my bank shows that I would have won my £25 back there. Now if I hit a winner, I would have had lay liabilities of 107, and I don't need to stake again with 139.85 on the next one at Southampton, 139.85, and if that lost, put a 0 in there or leave it blank, and you can see that I would have won my £25 there when I hit that loser. Now if that had won, I would have to then have to lay 304.70 on Liverpool, and if that loses, again we win 24.96, which is nearly enough £25, our £25 profit target. But if it wins, we have rather large lay liabilities which are bigger than our bet winnings from our bookie. So to get around that, we need to lay to win something less than our £25. So the way to tackle that is to bet the first one as a free bet, and then after that lay these other two to suit a smaller profit target there, and make sure that at the end, if we happen to hit all winners, at the end our lay liabilities are less than our bet winnings with the bookie. Now this was a bet in fixed odds with Betfair, so there is zero commission on the bet here, and don't forget this bet was free. So right, we'll go ahead and see what happened with that. Now here we are in my free bets trading spreadsheet. Now the offer was a free £25 treble, and the stake was returned with any bet winnings. Normally most free bets don't have the stake returned, so I put £25 in there, which increased the overall profit. So fixed odds in Betfair were 4.75 for Wigan, and I laid them in the exchange at 5.1. Now we need to reduce these lay liabilities right from the start, so I use the adjust feature down at the bottom, and I put a 2 in there to reduce this lay stake by £2. So there we are, instead of 23.51 it's 21.51 now. So that's what I laid at 5.1. So instead of 96, I finished 96 pounds lay liability, I finished up with 88 on this first team. So then back into the profit target sheet, input the 21.51 there at 5.1, if that wins, we stake that on the next one and that on the next one, which I've already put into the spreadsheet, and you can still see that we still come out with more lay liabilities than bet winnings. So what we need to do, if Wigan happen to win, we need to reduce that profit target, and I reduce it down to 15 to start with, and then these two lay stakes are reduced below those, and if we lay at those, we should come out with less lay liabilities than bet winnings. So if Wigan went ahead and won, we would then stake 108.61 on Southampton, 108.61, and if that won, we would put 236.64 on Liverpool, and then you can see now that we've reduced our potential lay liabilities below what our bet winnings may be. So we can go ahead now and put that trade on for Wigan, and if that happens to win, we can then adjust this profit target to suit whatever's going to finish up there in our lay liabilities, and compare it with our potential bet winnings and make sure that one is smaller than the other. Okay, so that's what I did with this trade. So we'll now look at what happened to that lay that I put on in Betfair. Right, here I am in Betfair. I've got my fixed odds treble in here. Look, my first one was Wigan at 475, second one is Southampton at odds of 2, and my third one is Liverpool at odds of 1.5. And you can see the Liverpool one just there, look. And there's my bet slip details there. There's my stake 25, and my total profit if my treble wins 331.25. Okay, let's wait and see what happens with that then. And here we are in the first game. You can see I've laid Wigan there for 5-1 for 21.51, and that's that odds there. Got all matched up. So we're just waiting and hope that one loses for me. Right, now that we know that Wigan lost, we wouldn't need to put in our odds and stakes for Southampton and Liverpool, and we can enter a 0 there because Wigan lost, and we now can see that we won £20.43. So this spreadsheet doesn't take any notice of what is in there or what is up there. Once you've put your odds and stake in there, that is what it uses. It takes the lay stake there, takes off the commission, and that is your profit. So we made £20.43 on that trade, which should be what we showed in there. There we are on the free bet trade, £20.44. So that's what I made on that particular trade. Remember that our bet was a free bet, so there was 0 loss on the bookie side of things. So this lay that we placed here was total profit after commission. Okay.